Hi, Naveena here. This is the fifth day of the experiment, fifth week of the experiment on the Friday. This is the time when you get all the data, such as it is. It's been quite a crazy time. I think suddenly the press hit, and there's been constant phone calls and interviews and all sorts of things going on, which is actually quite exciting. So let me just give these few minutes to the data because I will do a YouTube after that, today or tomorrow, that'll tell you more about what's going on and to answer some of the questions, especially those that are coming up from Facebook, who have all the concerns around what's going on. So I can't do them individually anymore, and I apologize for that. But there's way too much. There's way too much. So let me just tell you what's been happening. I seem to have lost quite a bit of weight this week. Last week I was 136 pounds, and now I'm 130. I was hoping to stopping losing weight, but it seems to be still going off quite quickly. I'm actually feeling really well. There's been a couple of times during the week, early on in the week, when I felt I needed to look and see if I wanted to stop the experiment because I felt quite bad. I'm something of a wimp when it comes to sickness of the body. I don't deal with it very well. So if something is going on with my body and I don't feel well, even if it's just nausea, it's kind of like the end of the world for me. So I really am watching that. But it turned out that, well, what I think is happening is that I was really drinking too much water. I had been taking people's advice and just drinking lots and lots and lots and lots of water. And there was just one point when my body said, no more water. And it threw up violently. Not nice. But loads of bile came up, and it was just like a cleansing of the stomach. The stomach really needed something to happen because that's where all the issues were lying. So once that happened, cleared up, no problem. I felt pretty good since then. I still rest a lot, though in the last few days I've been feeling more alive and alert and attentive to all the things that are going on. There's been so much action today that this is probably the busiest time I've been in most of my life, actually. But I'm feeling really energized, really good, and seems to be fine so far. Given lots of interviews on the phone or in person with cameras. In fact, the 4 o'clock news and the 6 o'clock news for Como radio, television, is coming out today. That'll be the first time I've ever actually looked to see what's going on, because apparently there's a vast amount of stuff going on the internet which I haven't dared to look at yet. So 6 pounds in weight. The bust is the same measurement as last week. The waist I lost an inch and a half on. So that's 2.5 inches from the beginning. The hips I lost an inch. So that's 2 from the very beginning. The belly I actually stopped losing from there. I think the system has taken most of the fat now, so the belly is where that was being stored. So 6 inches from the very beginning, but nothing from last week. The arm I lost 1/2 inch, which makes 3/4 all in all. And the leg 1/2 inch, which makes 3.5 inches. What else is there? I probably brought the drinks down to over, not quite 1/2 gallon of liquid in a day. I do 1 or 2 cups of tea. And then I sip this kind of size glass. It's probably 1.5 cups, 2 cups. And I probably go through 2 of those. I don't know exactly. I'm not a very good scientist, as you can tell. So, I actually noticed that my skin is starting to clear up. I had on this side, you probably can't see it very well, but I had a whole mass of stuff here that was marked and pitted or whatever. And that seems to be clearing up quite nicely. I don't know if it'll come out again later on, I don't know, but that part of the skin is clearing up. It's been beautifully sunny in Seattle the last week. Not so much today, in fact, not at all today. But going out into the sun was nice. I actually walked on the earth for a little while. It's too hot for me to sit out in the sun. I've never been able to sit in the sun, but I can sit in the shade. Today it's way too cold. My hands and feet still get cold very quickly. I'm going to start using that warmer in the microwave to keep my hands warm. I'm still, I'm not yearning food at all. It's just like I can be here and not eat, and it's fine. And if I watch other people eating, I don't think that's a problem for me either. I hear lots of criticism that's coming in. I've heard about it at least, where everybody seems to be afraid I'm going to kill myself. This is suicide, and everybody going to come to my funeral. I don't think so. I really don't understand where they're coming from. I mean, you can look at me right now and you can see that I'm not fading. I'm not falling all over the place. My mind is really clear. I've been watching a lot of Haramein, and he has just come up with this theory that it might be taking Einstein's theory a step further towards a unified theory of the universe. And I've been enjoying the geometrics, the geometry, the mathematics, even though I don't know what it all means, but I can pick up enough of what's underlying that it makes it fascinating for me. So, and he talks about light as being a sustenance, and that the void, what we think of the void in the universe, is actually not a void, but contains the content of the universe, and that every proton has enough power to power our universe for 10,000 years, something like that. Don't quote me on that. But he said that he has lived on light, that he has done this, that he has lived without food. It was just as a by-the-way thing in one of his discourses, but I picked that up and I wrote it down. I think I'll put it in my next YouTube. But he says he's done this. I mean, there's lots of people who have done this, and he's a very intense scientist. He also talks about sacred geometry and the pyramids and all sorts of things which are fascinating. But to Einstein's theory, he has added spin to the universe, and he's calculated that with geometry, and he's coming up with an amazing amount of knowledge. I think this knowledge is coming out into the mainstream very shortly. We're on the verge. We're on the cusp of this happening. And what I'm doing here is a technology for this, to be able to hold this way of looking at our universe. It truly is a flat earth versus round earth dilemma. Nobody in the flat earth era could comprehend how the universe could be round, and everybody disagreed with it and said you're going to fall off the edge. Exactly the same thing that they're saying now all over the place. I've had a few criticisms. But what else to expect? It's part of doing what I'm doing. So I think you can see I'm pretty sparkly here, that I've got lots of energy, and I'm not fading away. Day 34. Soon we're going to be coming into the time when people who are on hunger strike started dying. But you know what? Those people were pretty sick before they died. They knew something was going on. They got sick and ill and couldn't deal with anything, confused. I'm not getting hallucinations. I'm certainly not confused. I seem to be bounding with energy here, so let's start looking at it as it might be something different that's going on. No decisions to be made yet. Don't make any decisions either way. Don't make the decision that it's all nothing. Or you can. It's up to you. None of my business what you think. But I'm just going to keep continuing, and if I start getting sick, I'll know. And I'll let you know, and I won't go beyond the point where it's going downhill. So that's a promise to you. I won't do that. I don't want to do it to me either. So here we are, just a pretty short one, caught up with stuff, and that's the data for this week. So I'll see you for the data part next week. Thank you.